Again, welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, it's a very cool park you run there.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into the zoo biz, the zoo industry?
Oh, gee, I don't know. Well, actually, I mean, the reason I became a biologist was because I like science fiction. And I remember...
And you wanted to recreate the thing.
Not
I'm
quite.
sorry, I didn't mean to put words
sorry.
in your mouth.
No, I remember reading something by Conrad Lorenz, who won the Nobel Prize, actually, for biology. And he was... he said how that if you were in a room with a mosquito, a dog, and it'd be like, and you looked at the room through the eyes of all those animals, it'd be like being on 3 different planets.
Really?
Yeah.
I would imagine that makes sense.
Yeah.
A dog too, though?
Well, yeah, I mean, because dogs. Actually, if you ever watch the Simpsons, their writers are fantastic. Dogs actually see everything a little bit.
I like this guy.
No, it's just it's true.
Let's hang out.
Okay. Dogs see everything sort of shifted to the blue end of the spectrum. And there was a.
They're also always looking up at people's butts when they walk
well,
around.
they
so-
are, and they smell.
And that must matter.
But there was an episode with Santa's little helper, who was the dog there, and when they showed some scenes through his eyes, and when they did, everything turned a little bit blue, which I thought, God, these are cartoon writers, and they know all this stuff.
That's
so anyway,
cool.
you'd see the
I think our writer might take some umbrage with that, thinking that you should be surprised at that they're
it's
well
cool.
read.
Well, yeah, well, it's pretty esoteric stuff.
Yeah,
But
it is.
yeah, so anyway, so I thought that, gee, it'd be cool to be a biologist, and that sort of evolved. I worked with dolphins, and then elephants, and then
wow.
And then started
Wet mammals and dry mammals.
absolutely, but both big.
Both big,
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
And then started getting it more and more into the conservation, which led me to zoos. I was at the Pittsburgh Zoo before this. I was the director of science and conservation there. And then the Buttonwood Park Zoo just has a great reputation, great staff. One of the finest small zoos in the country. And so I decided to try it here.
Are zoos categorized, like small zoo, medium? I mean, is there some
Yeah.
way that they categorize them? And where does Buttonwood fit?
We're small,
Small?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the categorization.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Small, medium, and large, and that kind of thing? Or,
pretty much, yeah.
yeah. Do they have any kind of special kind of standing as far as zoo associations and stuff like that is concerned?
Well, we're accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, which is a huge big deal. People don't understand how big it is. There are about 3,000 zoos in the country altogether. Only about 10% are accredited. Just to get to that stage, you have to be really, really good.
How does Franklin Park fit?
they're accredited.
But I mean, are they considered a large zoo, or are they? Because they still seem a little small to me.
They're probably, if you look at them separately, Stone and Franklin, they're both probably small zoos. Put them
Well,
together,
Stone's much
they're-
smaller than
Yeah, but
Franklin Park.
they're together. They're the Zoo New England, and so they're one entity, and so then they'd be sort of a medium zoo. I think.
But you guys seem to have a lot of animals on a very small footprint.
Well, we do. We have right now we have almost exclusively North American animals, except for 2 elephants, and
Do you still have Emily?
We still do have Emily. Yes, it's the very Emily that.
And Emily's friend Helen or something like that? Or what was
Ruthie.
it? Ruthie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ruthie, yeah.
When my kids were little, I used
Yeah.
to bring them to Buttonwood Park all the time,
Yeah.
the time. And that's just when they had the swing set and the animals, the little bear and the cage thing there. And then we take a nice little walk around the
Yeah, well,
wolves.
you remember it actually from the time when we were one of the 20 worst zoos in the country.
Yeah, probably
Yeah,
in
no,
the
CNN
80s.
said that we were one
That's
of the
when
20
I used
worst
to
zoos
go
in the
there.
country about, a
Nice.
little bit over a decade ago. Well,
They
the
did
thing
a lot of
is that
changing.
much to the credit of the people of New Bedford and surrounding areas like like Wareham, they literally bulldozed the zoo out the front and rebuilt it.
Yeah.
And went from one of the top 20 worst zoos, or bottom 20 worst zoos.
Whichever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is. to one of the finest small zoos in the country. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't
Jeez, I
been
don't
there
remember
in a
being
while. I
that
have to bring
bad.
my grandkids.
But
I
the thing, the staff was always real good, and the animals, they always did the best they could.
It was
by the
always a
animals,
good day.
But it was, it's an old zoo. It's the
Yeah, right,
12th oldest
right.
zoo in the country. It's been there
Yeah.
since 1894. So,
Wow.
Wow.
So it really needed renovation, and we'll get into that stage again. I
1894?
mean, one of the things we're doing now is we're finalizing a master plan to again, do some new things at the zoo. So.
I heard you got a carousel.
We did get a carousel, sort of part of the whole it's sort of connected to the master plan. One of the things we have to do, we're accredited. To keep our accreditation, we have to have some new exhibits.
Uh-huh.
The carousel isn't exactly a new exhibit, but it's a new thing for people at the zoo. That is really one of the
This
coolest.
Isn't that cool? Yeah.
Sharon Magic Boyer.
Who has
She
everything
has
somewhere or
everything that you
another
can
in her
imagine.
house. We don't know how.
This is the coolest little carousel. It's so detailed. It's
There's even
so
a tiger
wicked
there.
cool.
Look at that. In the
I
back, there's a
know.
tiger.
I
You
You know what I
love
like
this
about
thing.
it? It's not a Christmas carousel. It's just a
No,
carousel.
They have winter scenes on the sides and between the little mirrors. They've got lions and zebras and tigers.
Oh
and-
my!
Yeah.
I love this. Isn't this
Maritime.
cool, Michaela?
Yeah, so our carousel's a little bit like that. We have a lot of...
Only bigger,
Does it
I
have
guess.
sound?
I'm guessing.
Oh, it
I'm
is
guessing
much
it's bigger.
Yes, actually.
It won't fit on my desk even.
Probably not, no.
Where did you get the carousel?
There's a company that makes carousels.
So it's new.
Wicked
It's
cool.
absolutely brand new,
Ah.
yep. Yeah,
nuts.
it has a lot of wildlife figures on it. There are a couple of, they're all really cool. The two that stand out, one's the hummingbird, which is the biggest thing on the carousel, which,
How ironic is that?
Absolutely, and it's
Clearly, our artists are into irony.
Does it
absolutely-
cost? How much does it cost to take a ride on the?
Well, it opens, actually, the grand opening is this Saturday.
Oh,
So, and it will cost $2 to take a
that's
ride.
not bad.
No, actually,
Not in
we
today's
we
world.
pride ourselves on being one of the best values in the area. We cost less than a movie. And
Yep.
if you can't afford even that, we're $6 for adults, $3 for
That's
kids.
fine.
And if you can't afford that, we have deals with the libraries in the whole area, so
Right.
that you can check out a zoo pass. And go to the zoo for free. Carousel still costs, but you can go to the zoo for free.
Yep.
Yeah, the other really cool animal on the carousel is they're all cool, but the other one that I have special interest in is the eagle, because it is almost impossible for an adult to get on the eagle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just the way it's built. The wings come backwards,
Uh-huh.
and kids can get between the wings and step up onto them. People tend to have a little bit, grown-up
Adults.
people. Yeah, adults. That's what we call them.
Yeah.
Yeah. These technical terms. Okay, an adult, like I am most of the time, can't fit back there.
Can we have him on more often? Can you have a regular spot here? Go ahead. Sorry.
So they actually took some videotape of me, which I don't know whether we're going to get on the website or not. I'm not sure I want it up there, but me attempting to get on top of the, on top of the eagle, which it was a little.
I heard you had your laptop. We can just plug this one in. So cool. So anyway,
So that opens this weekend.
this weekend.
Grand
Good.
opening. Yeah.
Good. You heard it here first.
You probably did hear it here first.
Yeah. We mentioned it a couple times already.
Okay, cool.
Just we wanted to make sure we scooped all the rest of the media around here.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we're in that business.
Yeah.
What's the most unique animal that you have there? That's
Where,
You mean
on the
live animal or on the
carousel
carousel?
Live animal or carousel animal?
live animal.
Well, the elephants. There haven't been
elephants.
elephants in New Bedford for like 10,000 years. So, but
I loved Emily. She's always
she's
good.
still there.
Yeah.
What do
Yeah,
you mean
Lem-
loved? You
Emily-
still
Not
love
dead.
Emily.
Yeah.
You still love.
I have
Emily.
to just get back there. My kids grew up.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
I'll go with
actually-
you. I love that place.
Well, one of the impetuses for our new master plan is that Emily and Ruth are getting. You're right. They've been there forever.
Right.
Yeah, and nothing lives forever.
Right.
And,
Good 30 years that I know.
yeah. Well, actually, that's probably how long she's been there, and
Well, how old was she when she got there? Do you know?
someplace between 4 and 6 years old.
Oh,
I
so she's
remember
still
when
got.
you first
She's
got
still
it.
got about 40 years.
Well, no. Well, the thing is, she was the average life expectancy of an Asian elephant, both in zoos and in Asia, is about 45 years.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
70.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, that's the maximum. There's a difference.
Uh-huh.
That's actually some of them have lived up to 80.
Uh-huh.
But it's like people. There you get
Right.
people who lived to 120, and then you have
Right.
the rest of us who
Yeah.
are lucky to be alive now.
Right.
So yeah, Emily's 47, Ruthie's 52.
Ah.
So they're past the average life expectancy, and the problem is if we lose one of them,
you probably.
we lose both of them because you can't keep a single elephant
Uh-huh.
because they're so social. So in order to be able to maintain elephants in New Bedford, what we need to do is renovate the barn, renovate the surrounding area so that we can hold 3 elephants. Because that's the new regulation.
Well, what would happen if one of them did
Yeah.
go? What do you mean? What do you have to do? You have to euthanize the other one, or?
Oh, heck no.
No.
So,
But
so
the
you,
other one
You
would-
seem like such a nice guy.
no, well, I wouldn't want to. I was going to say that just seems really. I was going to say it just seems like a really bad thing to do, as opposed to find another elephant of a similar age from another zoo and.
That's what we would love to do, except again, the regulations now are that we need to be able to hold 3 elephants, and we can only care for 2.
Right.
see.
So if one goes, they
That,
still
then
have
we
a
have to,
partner.
then we have to try to find a home for the other one, which
Right.
is not as easy as it seems.
Mm-hmm.
But,
No, that doesn't sound like an easy job at all.
No.
But being a member of a zoo association, it seems
Yes.
to me there's got to be other people in the same position.
Well, no, that's one of the benefits of being part of the AZA is that you get free animals.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
an elephant, if you tried to buy one, it costs you $50,000 or so, and we
Right.
just share.
You don't want my old chimpanzee, do you?
What?
You don't want my old male chimpanzee, do you? He's
Please
on
no.
Prozac.
Yeah.
Do you have any monkeys there?
What?
Do you have any
No, we
monkeys?
don't, but we plan to, as part of the new master plan. Right now, we have a master plan in a draft stage,
Mm-hmm.
and probably sometime in September, we're going to have public comment on it and then try to start implementing it. And besides renovating the elephant exhibit so that we can keep the elephants there,
Mm-hmm.
which we desperately want to do, we thought we'd bring in some new stuff too. And the first 2 animals we want to bring in, the first 2 new ones are tigers and snow monkeys.
Wow,
Have you ever
snow
seen a snow
monkeys.
monkey? I have a
I've
picture
seen
of a
pictures
snow
of
monkey, but
them.
unfortunately,
Right.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of them, but
Yeah, they're
I mean,
like,
but they
you know.
they're in they live in this in Japan. They're
Yeah.
in snowy areas where there are hot springs.
Right,
Right.
that's what I'm
Yeah, so
picturing.
they,
yeah.
they're,
Right.
they're like
They hang out in
they
the
hang out in the
you're
hot
right,
tub.
in the hot
Yeah,
tub.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
yeah, that's pretty funny.
And you have the seals still
We
there?
still
you
have
see
the
'em?
seals there, yeah.
And the bison?
And we still have the bison, and we
Ah.
have cougars, and
Yep.
a lot of farm animals. We have heritage breeds.
Right. The last time I was there, I think you had that, going around, and you had the barn area
Yep.
with the cows and everything. What a good, bless you, Bruce.
Gesundheit.
There's
Only
a
still
lot of
standing.
great things that you can, it's just a great way to spend the day with the kids.
Absolutely.
I think it's a great way to spend the day.
Right.
Kids
great-
or no kids.
Kids or no kids. Yeah, I know.
Just because it's a zoo.
Buttonwood Park.
That's because adults think they know everything, so they don't want to. No, I've already seen those animals. I don't
How
need
long
to see
have
them
you
again.
worked there?
I think about 2 years now.
And are you the executive director? Is that the scoop? Or?
See, it gets complicated. I'm the zoo director. I'm the
Okay.
director of the zoo. I run the zoo.
Okay.
The whole operation is sort of my purview. And then there is a zoological society, which is our support organization,
Uh-huh.
and they have an executive director. And their job is to help us raise resources. So they're going to be. I mean, they did the carousel. I mean, they were fantastic.
love
And I want to
So
put in a
good you
plug
have
for the
carousel.
Bristol County Savings Bank because they have been such a good partner to us.
Yeah.
Not only did they finance the carousel, they gave us an ATM, which is losing them money, but which our clients have asked for repeatedly, and they said, okay,
Right.
as a community service,
Right.
we'll give that to you. They help fund our
That's nice.
booth at the zoo. They're absolutely great. So the Zoo Society helps us do stuff like that, like raise money for the carousel. They're going to be integral in making sure that the master plan goes forward.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to be a big public-private partnership,
Uh-huh.
and they're great partners.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Do you have a concession stand there or anything?
We have a cafe. We have a
Really?
In the store.
and a store and a gift store. Yep. Our gift store actually has been voted the best kids gift store by Nickelodeon in the sort of the
Really?
Providence area for the last
I
2
go
or 3 years.
I go there every
Yep.
Christmas. Every Christmas I get gifts from that
Yep.
store.
Huh.
We are a class act. We really are.
You are.
Yeah,
You are.
Yeah.
And
you got
again,
that
just
with
because CNN said it was one of the worst news,
Wait, that was a long time ago. That's-
right, but that's when I went, rather, more regularly than I do now. I mean, I do go every Christmas, I
Yeah.
really do, but generally just to shop. Actually going into the zoo, I went, I probably went at least twice a year. We go at the beginning. I homeschooled my son. We would go at the beginning and the end of the year for a field trip, and I still thought it was a really. I used to work at Trailside Museum,
Okay.
and which is a really small zoo. Although they don't even actually call it a zoo, but it is a zoo. But so smaller confined animals like that, there's a what do you call it, a symbiotic relationship between the human beings and the animals that are there. So I don't like the idea, of course, of confining them like confinement, like
Right.
prior to being eaten and stuff like that. That's not what. But confining them in a zoo and taking care of them, making sure, look, I will make sure that you stay here. People will look at you, and you won't get eaten. That's a good deal, as far as I'm concerned. You won't get eaten by anything wild ever in your lifetime. You'll die of old age.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's another reason to keep upgrading zoos, because you learn more and more about how the best way to keep them,
Yeah.
under human care is.
Yeah.
Like you said, zoos have gone from menageries where you sort of postage stamp things where you had one of every single animal that you could find.
Right.
So now we try to keep them in normal social groups, let them do
Right.
stuff, like they can do in the wild, like forage and even
Right.
hunt and stuff. And so it's a much better life for the animals than it was before.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I can't wait to
Do
go
the trivia
back
again.
there again.
What's that?
Trivia again, since he's here.
But if he answers the trivia, then no one will call him for the trivia. But we're gonna. Well, I guess we'll ask you the trivia anyway.
Oh wait, do I have to ask?
Zoo trivia.
I don't think it
No,
makes
you
a
don't. No, you
difference.
don't actually have to. Just.
Good.
I'm going to say it was written as where was the first zoo in history, but I changed it to where's the first modern zoo because I happen to know that this answer is not correct. So the first modern zoo.
You tell me the web lies?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Are we talking about zoos in the United States? Or
No,
modern
no,
zoos?
no. The first zoo,
Modern zoo?
first modern zoo. So first Western zoo.
I don't know, London.
No, that's not what we have
Now,
here.
what do you have there? What do you have there? That sounds good. That sounds good. to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
That's good.
Because I know that the Romans had zoos.
Yeah, they did.
The,
Those-
the
but those
Egyptians
were
had
menagerie
zoos,
kind of zoos.
right? And they
Yeah,
and
those were- yeah.
generally those things got eaten afterwards.
Absolutely, yeah.
First, we'll fight with them, see who comes out on top, and then we'll eat them. Let's see. What is America's oldest zoo? Where is it located?
Oh, that I know.
You do that?
Philadelphia.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And then, what does the term zoo actually mean?
Zoological Park.
It does.
He wins, and guess what he wins, Paul?
He wins all the things he gets for coming on anyway.
There you go.
So when you leave, you're going to get a T-shirt.
I am.
And yes, and you're going to get
have to
a
wear
gift
it?
certificate to Cup too. Yes, you have to wear it. And you have to give me yours.
Hey,
Only one
World
that
Cup.
says Dr. Paul on it. But what's that?
a $10 gift certificate from Charisma Hair Salon.
She can use beard.
That's a free small pizza from Mark Anthony's. There you go.
That's
There you
not
go.
bad.
Yeah. So
That's
don't
a
leave
life.
before you get that.
Not bad.
Yeah. Anyway. So tell us something else about the zoo. What are some of the other exhibits there? That, if you haven't been there in, say, 10 years, or say 5-6 years, what's new
Well,
there?
see, that's the problem. Is that we haven't done anything really new in 10 years.
Oh, really?
And that's why we're doing this whole new master plan
Oh.
thing, so that we get more new stuff in.
Oh.
We do have some cool things that happen on a regular basis there.
Uh-huh.
We have the Toe Jam Puppet Band. Do you know the Toe Jam Puppet Band?
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. Have you heard of them?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I want them on the show.
No, they are absolutely fantastic. I didn't know about them until I came to this area, but
Oh.
they have a little audience like the Grateful Dead. You guys
Right.
remember the Grateful Dead? The Deadheads. Yeah, some either remember them or else you were so you
Right.
just don't remember them.
Right. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I bet you do. And but they have their little deadheads, and the Toe Jam Puppet Band has their little jam heads. They're these little kids who are just fanatical about them. And it's really good for the zoo because we have zoo members. You can become a member at the
right.
zoo through the Zoo Society.
Yeah, you should tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's $55 a year. It is a huge deal. You can come as many times as you want. You get all sorts of discounts on things. The average in the industry as a whole, the average zoo member comes like 2 to 4 times a year. Our members average over 20 times a year.
Wow.
And it's
Wow.
almost, and I give Toe Jam the credit for
Right.
that because these kids want to go.
Well, it's also because it's local, though, too.
It is
you
local,
know, I
and
mean, if
we're
you
very
join the
convenient.
aquarium, you got to drive into Boston, and
And we're also good. One of the 5 small zoos in the country.
Yeah,
We're really,
right.
really good.
no argument there.
Yeah, and so they're there on a regular basis. The one thing I do want to sort of mention that people don't know about, because people see the zoo, they see the animals at the zoo. But that's just sort of the tip of the iceberg. Zoos, the AZA, as a, the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, as an organization,
Right.
is the largest conservation organization in the world. And that doesn't just mean breeding animals at the zoo and stuff. We do all sorts of conservation things all over the world. I do work with elephants in Africa. We do work local conservation. There's a. Have you guys heard of the Plymouth red-bellied cooter?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Isn't that? What do you think a cooter is? Isn't that a great name?
And
Yeah,
Bruce, don't say anything. I know you know it. You know a cooter?
It could be a form of bird.
It could be.
It could be, but it's not.
All right, kind of like a raccoony type thing.
Could
no?
be, but it's not.
Not. No, haven't the faintest idea. So go ahead.
It's a turtle.
So, yeah.
A turtle.
We used to mark them. You have to shave off a little bit of their shell and do a little binary marking on them
Yeah,
because there's so few of them.
Well, I'm glad that you worked on that because Plymouth red-bellied cooters are only found in Plymouth County.
Really?
Yep.
The only place they're
Yep.
found. And you know what the mortality rate of the first-year mortality rate in the wild is?
No.
100%.
I missed what you said. Somebody else was
So
talking.
they're
to me.
gonna die.
Well, if you are a red-bellied cooter and you are born in the wild, you're hatched, I guess, actually, out of an egg, the odds of you reaching your first birthday are 0. All of them die. in the wild.
Really?
Yep.
That's me.
Wow. Because, now, as I recall,
Why?
they were
'Cause
really big turtles.
predators?
What? Yeah, because of predators. It's because of us. It's because of people. We've
They're
messed-
only in like 2 or 3 ponds.
Well, no,
aren't
they're,
they?
they're in a few more than
Are
that.
they?
But yeah,
Okay.
they're in fewer than.
Well,
they
when
used
I
to
was
be.
working on them, I was told they were only in 2 or 3 ponds
Yeah.
in Plymouth, and there was a guy who regularly came with them, and they would always come to the trail side and mark them. 'Cause
Yeah.
we had an herpetologist there who kind of specialized in marking turtles with the little saw,
Yeah.
clipping, and so they always come there. And I don't remember what the guy's name was, but he was kind of like at the time the area's expert on red bellies.
Yeah, I probably know his name, but I'm having this.
You probably do, but it was long. It was in the 70s, so.
Probably it might still be the same guy. But
Could
the
be.
thing is, it's because of raccoons and skunks and coyotes
right.
and the kind of pests that humans attract because they like our garbage so much, and also because we've sort of ruined their nesting sites. So what the zoo and a whole bunch of other places are doing, there's a whole consortium that includes middle schools and universities and zoos and stuff, is we take the eggs or the babies, when they're really, really tiny, and we head start them at the zoo and grow them up and release them, and then their survival rate is good. So if it wasn't for this consortium, there would be no red-bellied turtles.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a good thing to know.
No,
That's
it's-
a
They look
and
like
it's fun.
giant. They look like giant. What I'm trying to say, the common turtle, like painted, like giant painted turtles.
What's the outside shell look like?
like a turtle.
Well,
You know,
it does have markings like
No,
yellow.
it's the bottom that is really the bottom is red, which is why they're called red belly. It's actually the redness of the belly is sort of crucial to the turtles because that's how a female turtle decides how handsome the guy is.
Right.
So
Let me see your stomach.
Yeah,
They-
that-
instead of looking for a 6-pack, they.
Right.
Yeah, they just look for the redness. But it means when you're raising them, it actually is sort of being a caregiver. You want to get them as big as possible because it's like the like my Polish mom, eat. You're
Right.
So, but if you make them eat too much, they're not only do their shells get deformed, but the bottom of their belly isn't as red and it's more pink, and they are turn into ugly turtles rather than the handsome
Wow.
ones who get the girls.
We have some control room questions, out of control room questions.
Yes, Bill, how you doing? Just a couple of quick questions for you.
Sure.
I'm not too sure if you've already gone through this, but what's the total number of animals in the zoo, roughly?
Oh, good Lord. I should know that off the top of my head, but it depends on whether you're looking at species or individual animals, and it depends on whether you count fish, which there are a lot of, but a couple of hundred probably.
Couple hundred?
Individuals,
That's
yeah.
cool. And then a few other questions. For instance, total employees?
The city employs 21 people, and the Zoo Society probably employs 10, so maybe 31.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yep.
And then the last two quick questions. When was it founded and by who?
It was founded in 1894, and I don't know.
Probably the New Bedford Zoological Society.
Most likely.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, by Joe Abercrombie. That's a lie. That's a total absolute lie.
That's right. We do that on the show all the time.
Do you
As
have
long
a-
as you admit it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Just a couple of quick
Yeah,
ones.
that's easy. We're the biggest attraction on the South Coast by about double anybody else.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we get a couple 100,000 people a year.
Really,
Wow.
that's good.
Do you have to move any of the animals in the wintertime?
No. Now, even our elephants like it. I mean, people think of
Is
elephants
everything's all heated and everything?
Well, no,
like-
well, there's some animals like elephants are given their choice of whether to be heated or not. They're all North American animals, mostly from this region. So,
Right.
so they're obviously able to survive the winters here.
Right.
But even the elephants, I mean, people.
How about like the seals and stuff? They
Oh,
have a
yeah.
place to go inside and everything?
Well, if they wanted to, but they like the water.
Seals like cold.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love
Oh.
it.
What's that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. Are you ready to do a quick weather?
I can do a quick weather.
Okay.
Alrighty, let me just get quick
Oh.
weather. Michaela Kay. She's sitting here yawning beside me. But isn't this a cool little thing? You want to say hi to your dad? No? She's ready to go back to sleep, guys. Okay, what camera? This camera? Yes?
Bruce?
No?
Bruce?
Whatever.
There we go.
Okay. Warm and humid conditions will prevail today with
right.
some sunshine.
Bill.
And a weak disturbance will head toward the region tonight, producing plenty of clouds along with a couple of showers and thunderstorms. This disturbance will move slowly away from the region tomorrow and will allow the clouds to break for some sunshine, though a shower or thunderstorm will linger across our area. And for our extended forecast, a weak dome of high pressure will build over the region on Thursday, and this will result in dry but warm and humid conditions across the region with plenty of sunshine. And a storm system passing through our area on Friday will result in more clouds and sunshine and will likely produce a couple of showers and thunderstorms. And another system could bring more thunderstorms and showers to our region on Saturday.
Yay!
That's enough. Isn't this a wonderful little, I love this carousel. They've
Come
got
to
all
the
these
zoo
little
and see the big
characters
one.
on here.
Go
Yeah.
to the zoo and see the big one.
I'm going to. And when I go to
When
the
you
zoo,
go, let me know. I'll go with you.
yeah, I'm going to go. And where are you going to be so we can go and say hi to Dr. Bill?
Jumbo
Just
trip.
ask for Dr.
In
Bill.
the
I'll be there
office.
someplace.
In the office?
If I'm unlucky, if I'm lucky, I'm out someplace with the animals. But yes,
Okay.
I spent way too much time looking at a computer and pretending it's an elephant.
Right. Yep,
That's just cuckoo.
definitely. What's the
Sorry.
hours that you're open?
The zoo is open from 10 a.m. until 5 with the last admission at 4:30.
Okay, Monday through,
We're open 7 days a week, 360 some days a year. We're only closed Christmas, Thanksgiving, and New Year's.
really?
Yep, really.
So it's open in the
I would not lie to
wintertime?
you. What?
Whoa, I didn't know that.
People have coats.
Yeah, I know. I just,
Winter seems very foreign to her.
who knows? I know. That's wicked cool.
All right, now we have another guest, so we got to say goodbye. But before you go, I want to make sure that you've plugged everybody you need to plug and make sure that you say all of the pertinent information that you want the audience to hear, like admission and all that kind of
I
stuff.
think I have, yeah. Admission $6 for adults, $3 for kids. Free if you go to the library and get a library pass.
Right.
We have pony rides, train rides, and now a carousel. Bigger than that. It's like
At least twice that
at
size.
least twice that size. The carousel's $2, the train's $2, pony rides are $3, $5 if you want a picture.
Oh, why? What? Okay, you don't have to leave. Cool. What happened? Did they panic? They panicked and left. All right. Anyways, all right. So you don't have to leave unless you want to, unless you're done.
Well, I'm going to have to
Where are you
leave
from?
somewhat soon because I do have a paying job at the zoo, but I can stay for a while.
Paying job. Paying job. Paying job.
I
What does
know,
that mean?
It's,
I know,
actually,
what's that?
it's a luxury.
That's very
in today's
foreign to
economy,
us.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Although they're voting on it today, I guess, for the extension.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Bruce?
Yeah.
All right, well then let's talk about something else. So let's talk about, because one of the things that we generally like to do, we kind of jumped into it because I did think another guest was coming, so I didn't want to, I want to make sure that you got the information about the zoo and the carousel out. But if you don't mind, I'd like to talk a little bit about you.
Okay.
Like where you grew up, and you mentioned a little bit about what inspired you to become a biologist.
Yeah.
But why don't you tell us a little bit about what some of your earlier work was, so, in a little bit more detail. So where did you grow up first?
Where I grew up in the Chicago suburbs.
Really? Because you got like no accent at all, no Chicago accent
Really?
at all. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I lived there, or I lived around Chicago about 16, 17 years.
Uh-huh.
I'm a Cubs fan,
Uh-huh.
which is sad.
We won't hold that against you.
Exactly. Well, I'm also a Red Sox fan.
Uh-huh.
Well, they were my American League team, but yeah, you guys got a championship before we did, which is sort of not fair.
Why is it not fair?
I don't know. I guess
Just seems like
there is a certain amount of pride, I guess, not having won anything in over 100 years. I mean, that's some sort of record.
I was gonna say that's a record.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something.
We were shooting for that.
Yeah, you came up short.
I know.
And
See, so
came
you
up
guys
short.
really won by losing. You won.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I'm from Chicago. Went to school in Ithaca, New York, at Cornell University, and was there.
Of course.
What?
Of course.
Yeah. Well, Ithaca College is there too, and they're a good school.
Yeah. No. Cornell's the zoology
Yeah,
center of the world.
Cornell's awesome.
Yeah. It crossed my mind to go there too.
Yeah, I loved it. But then I went and got my PhD at Boston University, actually, in the Boston University Marine Program, so I was at Woods Hole.
Ah.
Then, although I spent most of my time in Florida, which was a nice gig. Then I went back to Cornell to do research, then to Pittsburgh, and then to here.
Uh-huh.
But the research I was doing was on elephants. And Katie Payne, Liz Thomas, and I were the people who discovered that elephants make sounds that you can't hear.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It was way cool.
And what is that used for? If you to just
Long
go able
distance
to
communication mostly.
really?
Yeah.
And what kind of distance are we talking about?
I
mean, frequencies travel certain distances.
Well, yeah, these are very low frequencies, so they're
low frequency,
attenuated
okay.
by not as much by the atmosphere or objects and stuff. And so, on a calm day, a couple of miles. On a day when there's wind or a temperature inversion or something like that, up to 10 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool. And now what
It's pretty cool.
what made
How
you
do they
think
make the
that was
sounds?
occurring?
Like-
Why did you?
Well, they make the sounds in their throats,
voice, wow.
yeah, and they're just huge, So some of this might just be a happy accident. It's easy for them to make these sounds and to
The
give.
chest resonate. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
no, well, their vocal cords are just really big.
Oh, okay.
So they're very they make low pitched sounds
Mm-hmm.
more easily than other animals. Although there's a Asian grouse called the capercaillie, which is about the size of a basketball, which also makes infrasounds. So. So, you don't have to be big, but it's a lot easier to be big.
I always actually wondered if emus do that too. I mean,
Really?
if you ever stand near an emu cage, as opposed to right next to the emu, if you stand like say from here to the wall over there, 10, 15 feet, it's almost like they throw their voices. That if you're standing here and you're looking at it there, it's almost like you hear them over there. And they do it with this really low thrum.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered whether, I don't have time to do any kind of research like
Yeah.
that, but I always wondered whether that was actually a phenomenon either that I just noticed, or am I just losing my mind when I'm near an emu? But
That would be a strange
it is
phenomenon,
a
but
very strange low thrum that they make.
Cool.
And I mean, when you're right next to them, obviously you can feel them and
Here.
see
Yeah, same
it.
thing with an elephant. I mean, even with this infrasound, if you're standing under an elephant, you probably hear everything they say. But
Yeah.
if you're a safe distance away, about 2/3 of the sounds they make, they can hear, but you can't.
What made you think they were doing it? Just because you were standing close at some point?
Actually,
Or?
to give credit where credit is due, it was Katie's idea, Katie Payne.
Uh-huh.
And she worked with whales and stuff before. And
I was wondering if that was the same kind of.
Yeah. And yeah.
So her idea was that, well, let's look for it because it occurs in other mammals.
I'm not sure whether, I mean, there are several different stories as to, that I've heard even from her about what was the thing that set it off, so I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, well, a lot of
But,
things can
yeah.
inspire
Yeah,
someone
exactly.
to do.
So there's probably a multitude of factors.
Yeah. So now, were you actually able to do any field work?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Until I took this job, I went to South Africa probably a couple of times a year for decades.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Cool.
it's awesome.
Now, what is the deal with the amount of people that get killed by elephants? It's a huge number of people that get killed. I've heard it's the most dangerous job in the world. You're more
Oh,
likely to die.
you mean in
being-
zoos, being an elephant keeper, or in the wild?
Well, I thought a lot of people in India, places that use elephants as entertainment
Yeah.
and work.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I understood. I understood that like in India, one of the things they do is at night they just let the elephants go, and the elephants just basically report back to work in the morning
Yeah,
for
pretty much,
scratching and washing and doing
Yeah.
work,
Yeah,
and then they just go. And apparently they discovered that a while ago because they've been working with elephants for a long time.
Yeah.
So when they were basically using elephants to squash other soldiers and things like that.
Yeah,
They
long,
learned-
long time ago.
Yeah.
They did that. Elephants are actually terrible war animals, though.
Really.
Because they tend to stop discriminating between the good guys and the bad guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would they?
Yeah.
Yeah. But one of the things that happens is they'll have a tendency to, in some of the celebrations that they have, some of the holy celebrations, some of the elephants should not be at these celebrations, and some should. Apparently, in other words, they have some sort of
Personalities, yeah.
natural rhythm, and at some point or another in their rhythm, they shouldn't be used because they
I
get
think-
upset and they.
Well, there's
tear
a
apart
thing. There's
festivals.
actually a really fascinating thing that both African and Asian elephants, males do. There's a phenomenon.
Yeah, it's generally
called-
the males.
Yes, there's a phenomenon called must, which is spelled musth,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an Urdu word which means intoxication, and which is a great description of it because these guys are literally drunk on testosterone. They are
Really?
their testosterone level soars, and they
Is
get-
that when they drip from the sides and
yeah,
stuff?
on Asian, that's really good. On Asian elephants,
that's what I
that's
was
true.
picturing,
On
too.
African elephants, they'll drip for a lot of reasons.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's a temporal gland and it'll ooze on the Asians, and that's sort of definitive that whether an elephant.
Sometimes I get clogged and I have to no, sorry.
Yeah, well, if you're in must, I'm leaving. Because it's sort of again, it's just a really fascinating phenomenon. An elephant that is in must. Let's say you're a little Richard Simmons elephant, and you're in must. You are dominant over any elephant that's not in must, even a big Arnold Schwarzenegger
Really?
elephant.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and in
How
fact,
often do they go into must?
roughly once a year, but it's not synchronized. So it turns out, and don't ask me why, but female elephants seem to prefer male elephants that are in must.
Must
So-
be because they smell different.
Well,
Pardon my French.
that's good. Well, they do smell different. I mean,
Oh.
you can actually, even people can smell musty
Oh, yeah.
elephants. Yeah, but
Musty elephants. Yeah, I left it in the cabinet too long. Get a little.
got a little
Got a
musty.
musty.
But the way that transfers into humans is that an elephant in must is sort of predisposed to challenge other elephants, especially to challenge dominant ones. Because actually, one of the theories is that in Africa, I know African elephants better than Asian elephants because that's where I've done all my work. But a female African elephant is sexually receptive only about 4 days every 4 years.
Oh wow.
So
Wow.
it's a girl elephant that's willing to make a baby with you is an incredibly rare and precious resource.
I
for the
guess.
Guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they they prefer these elephants in must. And if they didn't, you start going in must if you're an elephant when you're in your 20s and 30s and stuff. And elephants can live to be, as we've talked about, 50, 60, 70 years old. The big bulls, if there was no must, the big bulls would end up monopolizing all the matings.
Right, right.
But must gives the little guy a chance to get in there.
Nature's clever.
Isn't nature clever? But it also predisposes them to want to challenge the dominant guys. And with humans, often when you're working with elephants, the human, either through being a jerk and a bully or just through being really good, is like the dominant animal in the herd. And so if you're a bull in must, you are going to challenge the human handler.
That makes sense. Do you know?
And
I
you
mean,
would win
you.
because a human cannot win against
You think? You may or may not know this answer, so I don't want to put you on the spot. But if you do, I'm asking in case you do know.
Yeah.
Do you know if you can tell when they're about to go into must? Is there some
Their behavior
giveaway?
starts changes. You get a little. if you're good, you know that the animal's not acting the same. And as with in any profession, there are really good elephant handlers.
Right.
and
That's what
really
makes you an
bad
expert.
ones.
That's what
Yeah,
makes you an
yeah.
expert if you're paying attention to all the details, regardless of what industry it is.
Has Ruthie And Emily had the same handler pretty much, or do they have
For a
different
long,
handlers?
long time. Our head elephant keeper is, our head keeper and our elephant manager is a guy named Bill Sampson. And he's why I'm Dr. Bill, because he's Bill. And when people call the zoo asking for Bill, they want the guy who's been there 25 years usually, and that's Bill Sampson, who is he's one of the best I've ever seen. He's
Really?
really good with the elephants. Well, to get to, a bit of an aside, we have Emily and Ruth, our elephants who've been there for a long time, and Ruth's been there forever. That's what everybody in New Bedford remembers. Emily's been there forever. Ruth's story is even a little bit more compelling. She's been there since '87, I think, '86 or '87, and she was found abandoned in a trailer in a garbage dump. And she was
In this country?
in this country, I forget, one of the surrounding communities, really close.
Wow.
She was malnourished. She was covered with sores, and she was neurotic, and she was really dangerous. She was a striker. She'd hit people. And Bill Sampson took this elephant, and the USDI, the Department of the Interior, who has jurisdiction over this, and the Animal Rescue League of Boston took her and put her in the Buttonwood Park Zoo just to hold her for a while. But Bill was so good with her. He took this absolutely neurotic animal. If you come to visit now, she is a lap elephant. She just she expects affection from people, and she is just she is incredibly affectionate. I just love this animal, and he just totally turned her around. So she is one of the sweetest, nicest elephants I have ever met, and could have entirely gone the other way. So
Yeah, wow. How lucky is that for her?
Yep,
And for us,
absolutely.
for
Yeah.
having it.
No, really. Yeah, we want to keep elephants in New Bedford for a couple of reasons. One is that, I think it's really good for the community. Everybody has grown up with elephants. We're a conservation organization, as I mentioned before, and it turns out that the number one predictor of whether you're going to grow up to be a conservationist or have a conservation ethic is whether you've had an oh wow experience with an animal or with nature when you're a little kid. And in an urban area like New Bedford, that's hard
It's
to
really
do.
difficult, yeah.
But and how much more oh wow does an elephant?
Right. Right.
So I think elephants are really good for the community, but also our elephant keepers are top notch, and so we're really good for the elephants too.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Good luck for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see, anything
Do you
else
still
about
have the wolves there?
We have coyotes.
Coyotes.
We do too. At my house.
I know. Coyotes are one of those animals that do really well around people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Well, that's the thing is that you always come across hunters or relatives of hunters, and I'm a vegetarian, so a lot of people think they need to make an excuse around me, which they don't. But generally, the conversation goes something like, my brother or my uncle or whatever is a hunter, and then they'll get into how the deer have overpopulated, and it's like, the deer didn't overpopulate. The people have overpopulated. We're killing the deer because there's too many people, not because there's too many deer. There isn't too many deer. There's too many people.
There are more deer than there used to be, I think.
There are, but at the time when I grew up, when I worked at Trailside Museum, for example, the deer that was there was the only deer that I ever got to see. And I grew up in Canton. It was relatively rural. I take that back. There was a deer that was killed in my, right at the tip of my driveway. My dog had chased it out in front of a car, and I grew up in a sheep farm. But the bottom line is, deer were like unicorns when I grew up. But at the same time, if you went out to Pennsylvania, Ohio, they were considered pests. Because there's
That's
just
where I
so
came
many
from,
of them.
yep,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania,
But now I guess around here, people are starting to have the same attitude. That deer are becoming pests. It's like, no, it's not the deer that are pests. Sorry, and it's not just because I'm a vegetarian. It's the only thing that really makes any sense. There's too many of us in too much track housing. That's whether they call it track housing or not. That's what it is. And we're just taking up too much of their environment. That's the problem. It's not because there's too many deer. And the other thing is, the hunters don't go after the sick and dying deer. They go after the big 8-point bucks. Is what they actually go after. So anyway, I forget why I brought that up, but anyhow. So again, one last time, because we're about to close up. So if there's what's that? Yeah. If there's anything else that you wanted to make sure that everybody knows before you
I'm
go.
just going to plug the carousel again.
Okay.
It's happening. This grand opening is this weekend. the 24th and the 25th.
And you're expecting a lot of people?
Yep.
Yeah, and press and all that kind of stuff?
Yep.
Good, good.
Yeah,
All right.
that's most
Well,
awesome.
Dr. Bill,
was a
thank you very
pleasure.
much. Love to have you come back on,
Thank you,
please.
thank you.
Yay!
And sometime you can bring some animals.
Yes,
If you can.
Yeah,
If you can.
that's part of the master plan is to get us some program animals that we can bring
Uh-huh,
out. So
yep.
yeah, so
Yep, I actually went to Major Mud with my Bob Stanhope was the director of the Trailside Museum at
Yeah.
the time, and he just liked to make sure that everybody got fair treatment. So one of the things that I got to do, as well as other volunteers, but I got to handle the animals, while he was going to bring them on and
Yeah.
display them on Major Mud. So it's a good program. It gets people to see them. So I
I'm
like
going
it.
to go down.
All right.
I'm gonna
Well,
take
thanks.
a look.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
There you
Thanks for
go.
coming.
Thank you.
Dr. Bill, everybody.
Yay.
thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, we've been waiting for you for a long time. All right.
All right, Paul, while I have a second, let me give you the listings of the rest of this week.
Okay, please do.
Tomorrow, Wednesday, we have...
I didn't do that. I wasn't here.
That was me.
Again, tomorrow we have Phil, who is a chef from Wickett's Inn.
Yep.
We're going to have a cooking show. Is that what we're doing?
We're going to have a cooking show.
What are we
tomorrow.
cooking? Do you know yet?
That I don't know. I'm actually going to go down and see him later on today and find out.
Okay. And then followed by Thursday, we have Tani Lopes, who'll be discussing the Cape Verdean Festival,
Uh-huh.
as well as a visit from the Gateman again, the Wareham Gateman.
Yay. All
There you
right.
have it. And Friday, of course, we're off.
All right. So that's the scoop. Tomorrow and Thursday there will be, in fact, a show, and we'll have guests showing up. We'll have a cooking show tomorrow, and I hope you'll all come by and take a look. And as you know, you can always check out yourdailygumbo.tv on, what's the name of that website? Oh yeah, yourdailygumbo.tv, cleverly enough. So I got 6 minutes. Okay, well, we can, anything else we need to chat about? that
Anything
we can
else we
think of?
need to chat about?
Let's see. We still haven't seen Sorcerer's Apprentice yet, which apparently is not doing very well at the movie cinema.
Yeah, it's,
Too bad.
as I mentioned
Is it a good
before,
movie?
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
Chris and I have this plan, and the plan is at some point or another we're going to drag Doug to a movie, because
Really?
Doug never goes to movies.
I never go to
So
movies.
is that what the plan is?
Can we drag you too?
Maybe if it's a good movie.
Oh, well, you
It's
don't-
just-
but you
well-
don't know till you get there.
Right. I know, but it's like how
You- what, you
long
just
is
like
it?
short things?
It's going to be like 3
Denise.
hours, right, total, to go to a movie by
Uh-huh.
the time you get there and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And it's 3 hours that.
3 hours that you're with your friends.
Right.
I guess Denise has a
And then you
life.
have something to talk about. What's that?
I said apparently Denise had a life, whereas we
Well, no.
don't.
I don't know. My life seems
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
we go a lot of
full.
movies.
fine
That's what
too,
she's saying.
no.
She can't spend the time.
What's that?
In the wintertime, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the summer it's good because you get to stay and spend it some
She's
time
in
inside
love
with
right now,
air
Paul.
conditioning. What's that?
She's got a man in her life. She's in love.
Oh.
She's got no time for friends.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
probably
Lord.
no time for friends.
My.
Plenty of time for friends.
She does.
Absolutely.
She hangs out with friends all the time.
And
I know
for
that for a
love.
fact.
It's good.
Good.
Anyway,
so we're
as
gonna
I
go
was
see
saying
that. Yes?
one moment ago was
Yes, Uncle Chris.
that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio
Yeah.
has done 60 odd million in the first weekend,
Wow.
and The Sorcerer's Apprentice only did 11.
Uh-huh.
Just to show you that
Well, I hope they share.
I hope so.
Somehow I'm thinking they don't, though.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, they could share it with me. They
Okay,
could share it with us.
Not likely.
Gumbo.
Yeah, probably.
There you
Well,
go.
you'd have to
Yeah.
give the station 15%.
Let's not go there. What are you trying to tick me off? All right.
I still think you should put an ad up at the flagship theater. You know, running video. You know, that running ads.
Oh,
Gumbo
what,
show.
leaving for the Gumbo show?
Probably cost you like your car, but that's okay.
Yeah, right. The proverbial arm and a leg. No, I'd love to do that. If you know anybody that wants to donate the,
You should mention the Gateman, by the way. The games.
what about them?
How our band
Well,
up
actually,
there.
yeah, we should actually talk about the fact that WCTV is in fact broadcasting the games live,
Yeah.
and we get to work on them. So we've been shooting the games pretty much all summer. I don't
They
believe
might
it's-
have a schedule put up on the board, they're thinking.
Yes,
Could be in
and
check.
that is something that people, as I said earlier today, that people should take a look at the schedule and see how it's changed.
Right.
It's much more user friendly than it was before, and much more accurate than it was before. But let me say it's not 100% accurate, but it's getting there. There needs to be some changes done on it, but the point is that it's much better than it was before, so it's worth taking a look at. But anyway, the Gateman Games Wednesday, tomorrow is the next one, 7 o'clock. So it does go on live, and it's
And what station?
What's that?
What are the stations it runs on?
I believe it's channel 97 for Comcast people,
Comcast.
and it's channel 28 for Verizon.
Oh.
So, and generally we're broadcasting by quarter past. We broadcast about 45 minutes before the game actually starts. Sometimes they have interviews and things like that. The people that are streaming the radio and doing the play-by-plays often have guests that they interview beforehand. So we generally start broadcasting 45 minutes before. So it's worth tuning in for anyway. And it's a way to see the gatemen, some of your friends and neighbors that are at the game, etc.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun. And it's sponsored by a lot of people that sponsor WCTV. So worthwhile taking a look.
They've been having good attendance, actually.
What's that?
They've been having pretty good attendance.
It's just like I told them. When you put games on TV, people start coming to the
Yeah.
games.
you
It
build
goes
it,
hand
So
in
you
hand.
knew.
If you build it, they will come. I think they've learned that. We have a lot of happy people over there at the Gateman organization because
Yep.
a lot of people are watching the games. People are talking about it all
Tom
the time.
Gay, the president, very happy with
Yep,
everything.
Yep, it's great. It's going good. All right. Well, I think that's about it. We'll just
What do we got?
we'll just
What
have
do
to
we
wrap
That's
up
up
a
to
minute
you.
early. That's
Go
all.
ahead.
All right. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. We will in fact be here today. Uh-oh, somebody's raising their hand. Yes,
You wanna say-
the
do you
girl
wanna
in the
say,
white top. You
White
have a
top.
challenge for Scott Record. Okay, what is that? What's that? What's the challenge? Uh-oh, uh-oh.
I haven't seen any vegetables yet from his organic garden.
All right, well, here we go. Here we go. Well, I'm going to repeat the whole thing. Sharon is challenging Scott Record
Ooh.
to a vegetable off. So, because she said that she hasn't seen any vegetables from his organic garden yet. And she has, because I have in fact had some. She has in fact already had a harvest. So Scott, I guess you're getting called out by Sharon Boyer.
Wow.
Michaela wants to say hi to her family and friends real quick. Yes, you do. You do.
No, I don't.
Put on Michaela. Michaela, just look.
Oh,
look
she's
at
on
her.
wave. She can wave.
She can wave.
Just wave.
Just wave.
Aw.
Oh, she's shy.
I gotta thank Michaela for coming on.
Yay,
Thanks,
Michaela.
Look at Michaela's cool shoes. That's what you should do.
Show her. Let's see her shoes.
Yes,
Let's see her
her
cool
shoes
shoes.
are the bomb. You want to see a good pair of shoes.
Give us, we got time. Hang on.
Bruce, can we get those shoes?
Doug's
Doug's in charge.
Oh, Doug! Wow, Doug. Is Tom
Camera
still
today.
here?
You got to.
Is Tom still here too?
Got
There you go.
outfit
Yeah.
on.
Wow.
There you go.
There you go. There's
Now those
your
are
cool
sneakers.
shoes. They're sneakers boots.
Those are
things.
high tops. Those
Yep.
are like really high tops.
Yep.
All right.
Moon
And
tops.
hi to
Yeah,
all
really.
her family, and she came in as my guest today.
Well, thanks for
It was her
coming.
birthday yesterday, and she had this experience in her life.
Oh yeah, and happy birthday. You know, not everybody gets to do that, so there
Really?
you go.
Back to you, Paul. 30 seconds.
All right, so well, I guess that's it then. So again, we'll be replaying this show tonight at 8 o'clock. So those of you who know the answers to any trivia questions, please call 508-299-7551 and get yourself some free gifts and gift certificates, and of course a Gumbo T-shirt. So anyway, take care of the people that you love the people you take care of, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you, Paul.